It's essentially what I wanted, but...
So, how do you like the mask? Because I just made this essentially like 10 minutes ago. I mean, I just finished drawing, so... Yeah. Oh, how do you feel about the mask? Talk about it in the description below, or whatever. I need to know if this looks okay. I like how the other one turned out, but... I don't know, this one's also pretty good. Much better than I thought it would, so... what are you gonna do, right? Today we're gonna be talking about The Great Pretender. The Great Pretender was a show that was essentially overlooked because of a very stacked season, or a stacked year. It had JJK, so I guess that's what made it stacked. I think Demon Slayer also came out that year. Not totally sure. But the point I'm trying to make is this is a show that I'd recommend to essentially anybody. Somebody who wants to get into anime, someone who doesn't, people who already like anime. I mean, ticks all the boxes for me and don't know why I wouldn't click for everyone else. I want to talk about this show because it seems like nobody talks about this show. It's one of the better shows I've seen in a long time, and it's just underrated, only because people don't talk about it. The show is sectioned up into what's called cases. Each case talks about a different character and has a different arc for that character. The main character, Makoto Edamura, which was supposed to, well, he is the Japan's best con man, which is essentially negated by another character named Laurent Fury, which is the pseudo-leader, or he's essentially the leader of what's called the Confidence Men. The Confidence Men steal and con and lie to big businessmen who are super evil. And that is essentially the entire show. Each villain, bad guy, is another step up the evil ladder, whether it be drug dealers, art thieves, art forgers, and, you know, up even like higher, like international gangsters, and so on and so forth. The first case is about Makoto Edamura and his place in the universe, essentially. What he's going to do, how is he going to do it? Is the life he was living worth living in general? And being able to see what type of world he'd come into if he continued to do so. He was lucky enough to find Laurent, as he is a good man. The second case is about one of my favorite characters, Abigail Jones, a former ballerina and former child soldier. In fact, I think this was during, like, they keep saying the war. I know it's like I think they talk about a real life war that actually happened in the real world. I don't know what it is. So someone will tell me. I'll be like, okay, got it. Keep it in mind for next time. But yeah, the second case is about more like a sports movie, while the first one was more like about like Breaking Bad-ish kind of. There's a lot of references to Breaking Bad in that one, so you know, kind of works out as it's on the same streaming platform as, you know, Breaking Bad, which is like the best show they have on there, I guess. I mean, it is. The third case is about Cynthia Moore, the older. She's like supposed to be in her 40s, I guess, but you know, anime. But she's supposed to be the seductress or femme fatale of the team, and does so very well. And in the third case, really goes into how she became that way, as an upcoming actor, or would-be upcoming actor, if it wasn't for her relationships with a forging painter. The fourth and final case is about my favorite character, Laurent Fury, which I assume his last name means thief, because etymology, I guess. He is one of my favorite characters, as he is the funniest and the epitome of stirring the pot. I mean, no one can take away from him. He is just the funniest character, and just such a joy to have on screen, talking like the director. But Yeah, and that's essentially the basics.
Hello, it's editor me here. I didn't talk about the fourth case, but deciding whether I should or not, and I'm just going to talk about it a little bit, but mostly it talks about Laurent and, well, his origin story and how his skills came to be, why he became a confidence man or a con man, and why he got into this, and, you know, I'll get into it in like a second, but, parallels between the main character and him.
I don't want to talk about it too much because that's going to get into spoiler territory, and then what's the point of you guys watching it? So, watch the show because I'm recommending it to you. One of the things I'd want to talk about for sure is the parallels between characters. Because that happens a lot, especially between Edamura and Laurent. That's something you need to pay more attention to because they lead very parallel lives and it's very similar. They have very similar stories, so that's something that I feel like everyone should pay attention to because that is probably the best part of the show is the parallels between those two characters. Speaking of the show, a lot of the animation is probably the most unique I saw up to that point. I mean, there's been other shows that essentially blow it out of the water, but everyone's seen those shows, I think. A lot of the cases have different art style, color palettes, and every time I watch it, I find something new in the animation, and it's kind of like that with Scott Pilgrim, which is my favorite film. So that's also cool. This is just a great show to watch, especially if you want something to watch. It's kind of a shame because it feels like Netflix doesn't really promote this show. I don't ever see it like anybody talking about it, maybe because of that. But you have to go out and search it up on Netflix to find it. So maybe that's what it is. But if you want something to watch, that is the show. And especially if you have a person you just want to get into anime, this is just the small push into that world before they slip, fall, break their leg, fall even more, and just are drowned in the content that is Japan's best medium. So, yeah. Please watch Great Pretender. It also has the Freddie Mercury song, The Great Pretender. So,
You cut your hair.
It grew.
Whoa, it's been such a long time. Your head kind of looks like a horseshoe crab now. I like it.
Why are you talking shit?